Hello and welcome into Ansible Deep Dive and Multi-Vendor Networking. This video course is provided to you by orhanergen.net. In this quick last video on this module, we're going to aim to do the automation using REST API with the FortiOS. And one reason I didn't go deeper with the REST API with FortiOS because the already existing Ansible FortiOS collection is more than enough to do all sort of, gathering, configuration, monitoring. But in some cases, you may go and grab the API that you want, but it is not much familiar. And another issue is the documentation is not publicly released by Fortinet, such as Cisco. You are required to go into a website named Fortinet Developer Network, FNDN, and you cannot have an access only if you verify your identity by a special access token or two Fortinet employees that can verify your identity. This is one issue that I faced multiple times until I got an access, and it have a good documentation, not the best. But the issue is I'm not going for that because not all of the video course, viewers can have this kind of access. So I'm just strict to this simple API, approach, and that's it. So in this one, we are aiming for the host Firewall 1 FGT7 API. So we are going totally for the API. The connection will be local, same as we did with Cisco. Variable as root, I don't think we're going to use it. And we are using the RestConf get. So as you recall in Cisco, this will use only the get method of the HTTP. The output will be JSON and the path itself. One issue with the Fortinet that I saw with the API when I did it in Python is you must invoke the access token with each request that you want to get. There is multiple approach, but I don't like it. So even when I went deeper and read the hard-coded Python script that is built that the Ansible collection built with, I saw that they are using these mechanisms. I'm talking now, maybe in the future they will change it. So even in the collections that you are doing, each time in the background, the Python is using an HTTP GET request and invoking the token with, the request header, the request URL, not the header. So eventually, now we want to have the firewall addresses. So how we may do it? We must specify the full path, API v2 CMDB firewall address. Then you give a question mark access token equals the value of the access token. This authentication parameter is provided by Fortinet. It is partially publicly released. So one question will be, okay, I know this section. This section is fixed. With each request, I must invoke this section. But what about the first one? How can I know what is the, the URL of the API that I want to get? One easy approach that I learned with FortiGate, I think version 7, is you go and edit. Maybe I want to go into the addresses, create an address like this. Just to click on additional information, API preview. In the API preview, you're gonna see, the path of the API. So just copy and paste it. It is not a good documentation, okay, but you could have only the path. So just copy, paste it into whatever you want to collect, and it will be printed. So let me run the code. Ansible playbook A257A, FortiOS API. So we're gonna use the first token, and this is the response. As you can see, this is the response. It is not meta result, it is response. Why? Because we are not using the collection, we are using the RestConf. The RestConf will get us results. So if you want to parse, do results, don't do the meta, things. So that is. Another thing that I want to do, and I did, I don't want to invoke this, long length thing, because in multiple times you want to filter based on, question mark. There are multiple filtering mechanisms that you could use with RestConf and with, FortiOS. Sometimes you will have a long URL. So how to reduce it? It's very simple. Let's go back into the inventory. As you recall, this is the FortiOS access token. This is the same, no issue at all. Then I created another variable. I just name it token. That's it. Very easy. The token will have the entire key and value that you have. As you can see, question mark, access token equals access token. So it is all written and saved within a single variable of a token. So if we go and open the last playbook that we have, A257B, you will see that I already invoked only the URL, the API path that I got from, the API preview, only this one. After that, you could only invoke the variable name of token. This will be much prettier and easier. The code will be much cleaner, and you will have the same exact response. So in this time I'm filtering it, response result, A257B, FortiOS API, the same values that I got previously. That's all for this module. See you on the next one.